When the last time I seen you, Sam? I mean, good Lord, has it
I
been this
think
year? I
the,
don't even know.
I think the last time I seen you was that Jay Morrison thing out in Newport News.
Man, that was probably what? That's 2 years ago.
Yeah, probably 2 years ago.
Huge government scandal going
2 3 years
on.
ago.
That's probably 2 years ago, Sam. Wow,
Yeah.
that's unbelievable. Sam Coker, round up. Come on in. Comes on in. We'll let everybody get logged in. So, Sam, tell me about your day. How was your day today, my friend?
My day was all right. Normal day at work. The first day back after being home for a little while.
Hmm.
I was home for a little while. Came down with that virus. So it
Yeah, you mentioned that to me. How you feeling, bro? Sam, if you don't know, Sam had the virus.
I feel all right. I feel great. Feel great. It didn't hit me as hard as some, but it did sit me down for about a month. um, but
Were
I
you
feel I
hard,
feel strong, feel strong, feel healthy.
hard of breathing or hard of taste buds? Are you fatigued? How was it?
Well, the only symptoms
On Amazon, pretty much any.
that I came down with, I lost my sense of smell.
Hmm.
I did have some difficulty breathing for a few days.
Okay.
Nothing major. But as far as energy, my appetite was still there. I was still able to work out, go for a run every now and then, do some push-ups, pull-ups. Um, yeah. So but the major thing for me was loss of smell, a little bit of loss of taste, and that was about it.
Gotcha. Well, we are glad you are still here with us.
Hmm.
That's something, man. That's something.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I know we've talked about this in the past. It's been several years. I just remember us going over your private pay tenants in the past. So we'll just give them a little background on that in a few moments. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. Let's do it.
Transparency Roundup. Greetings, greetings, class. This is Chris Haskins with therealestateroundup.com. My mission and my ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. In doing that, I get to introduce you to all types of people, investors, landlords, wholesalers, all type of stuff. And tonight it's an honor to hang out with my boy Sam Coker. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well in yourself.
All is well, man. Just finishing up dinner. I made veggie lasagna. I'm trying to cut the meat back, Sam.
Okay, okay.
I know you did it. You cut it out, right?
Yeah, it's been a while, Chris. It's been a while. It's over going on over. I want to say I cut meat completely out of my diet back in 2010, 2011.
Wow, good for you, Sam.
Well,
That's honorable.
some people still consider fish meat, but I still eat seafood. But as far as like chicken, beef, pork, I cut that out of my diet a while ago.
Are you finding that you have more energy? Is it a different? Do you feel differently? Man, it's been such a
Yeah,
long time.
I do feel like I have more energy. I do feel like I'm able to get around a lot better. Um,
Hmm.
I still got to do some more modifying, but
So, are you not vegan though? So you still get the cheese and some stuff? Okay, eggs.
I still eat well, I haven't eaten eggs in a while.
Okay.
But pizza, I still eat a pizza every now and then.
Just
Um,
quick, so
yes,
easy.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool. Roundup tonight. I really just wanted to share with you some stories. I need you. Now that I'm creating this course, right? The Landlord's Guide to Section 8 Housing that will be out this Friday, right? 12 o'clock. So make sure you stay tuned. Hit the bell for that. I want you guys to know the real deal. I want to share with you the truth about the stories. I want to put it all to bed and be transparent with you because Sam is somebody that's walking the walk, living this thing. So why not better to hear from Sam? Sam, give us a little background about you before we get into our actual training that we're going to go over tonight.
A little bit about me. I'm a full-time military, active duty military,
Hmm.
full-time in the Navy. Been in this year makes 20 years.
Wow.
We're coming to the end of the road, for that chapter.
Thanks for your
Uh,
service, my friend. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
I'm a landlord. I do wholesale properties as well.
Hmm.
And that's how I met you, Chris, a few years back. Reached out to you for some mentorship,
Hmm.
and we've been rocking and rolling ever since.
That's cool. So you're getting ready to get out of the military. Tell me about, just so I can frame this up for my roundupers. No doubt that's a big thing for military guys like you. Tell me what's on your mind as you approach the end.
Yeah, it's definitely a big transition. I did about a year of college after high school, and then went right into the military. So this is pretty much all I've known for the past 20 years. So transitioning
Wow.
back to civilian life is a big thing.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
acclimated back into the workforce and things of that nature.
That's interesting.
We actually have to get training to do that.
I'm sorry, Roundup. I got come on in, Taylor. I forgot I got Kidpreneurs here. Taylor, what you got? My daughter, they doing bracelets, Sam.
Oh, put on.
What you got? You can show it to the camera. Roundup, my daughter has some stuff she wants to share with y'all. Go ahead, hit it. You can talk. Support.
Well, I was just I wanted to know if you would like to support Black entrepreneurs by buying one of my bracelets.
All right. Then how do they? What is the bracelets that you're offering?
I'm offering
Hold up there.
brown and black BLM.
Go to the link. I put their links in the video description, and Morgan will be coming in a little while to share hers as well. So, is there anything else? Can they get different colors? Is that the only color that they can get?
They can pick their own color.
Okay.
And they're allowed to put in their own text as well.
You can tell them that. Tell them.
I did. Or can they hear me?
Bend over a little bit. You're allowed to do what?
You're allowed to type in whatever text you want and whatever colors you want as well.
So show them the bracelet again. And what is the material? Is it
rubber bands? It's not leather. Some people told me it looks like leather. That's why they didn't want to get it.
All right. So we're not doing leather. All right. Good gracious. Is that it, bro?
Yeah.
Peace.
Bye.
Sorry about that.
I wore my bracelet.
You got.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting, Sam. These kids.
It comes pretty quick in the mail too.
Oh, cool. Okay. Thank you. So you're approaching getting out. So the thought process can be overwhelming. Now you have your rental property. Tell me about some of the past. Well, tell me about let's go to the backstory, Sam, which brought us to looking into Section 8 for you. What brought us there?
Well, a little bit about my history with Landlord. In the beginning, I can say I was a very horrible landlord. I didn't really know too much about what I was getting into. So I had to learn a lot of things through trial and error. Before I went Section 8, I believe I had about 5 tenants.
Was it 10 years?
Over the course of 10 years. And out of those 5 tenants, I only had one good tenant that I missed. One good tenant that I missed that paid me before the rent was due.
I miss her. Where's she at? Shit, we need to call her.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they had to relocate to another area, and after that, went right back to the same bag that I was in before that. Yeah, but not knowing how to properly vet tenants is what made life very, very hard for me.
So tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. So me being in the military, constantly in and out. So when I experience a vacancy, I'm rushing to get somebody in there, and as long as I saw proof of income, I was fine with that. And
what was your mindset with that, Sam? You looking for the money? Or I'm thinking of myself too. Why is that?
Just looking for the money. I had a mortgage also, and I also had another mortgage for the home I was currently living in.
Okay.
So when the house goes vacant, it can become stressful because now you have another bill that you have to take care of. Mm-hmm. So for some landlords, they'll rush to get a tenant in there without properly vetting the tenant, making sure that they had a good source of income, and also making sure that they're currently taking care of the property that they're living in. All right.
It's rough.
That wasn't happening. That wasn't happening. Also, properly vetting your property management too, to make sure that your property management team is on point as well. My first rental property, I did have property management, and I chose to go and do it by myself because of the horrible job that property manager did.
Tell us about that, Sam. Tell us about some,
Yeah,
because I have at this time I don't have any good experiences with property managers. I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah, I went through my first. I had somebody had referred Prudential Town Realty. Not to talk really bad about them. Might have just been that one property manager. She put 2 tenants in my property. It was a female couple that had about 6 kids. And Chris,
Wow.
they destroyed that house. They destroyed that house.
What happened? What did they do?
So before this is right before I had one on a little mini deployment to Tampa, Florida, and rushing to get somebody in there. I had put a lot of money into the house, Chris. It was
Renovating
nice.
it.
You're renovating it, new carpets, new doors, new paint on the walls, everything, the whole 9 yards, right? And when I got back, the house did not look how I gave it to them.
How long is it? How long in what time period?
That was in a span of 7 months.
7 months.
7 months.
I thought you were going to say 7 years. Okay.
Yeah, 7 months to where the walls went from white to beige, and they brought a little guest also. The house was badly infested with roaches.
Oh,
to the point where the neighbors were getting some of that love. The neighbors were getting some of the roaches from the house.
Good Lord, man.
And to top it off, I was getting calls from the property manager in Florida, like, hey, we need to get this done. We need to do this to the house. One example in particular, the laundry room, the vent for the dryer was going underneath the house, which is a fire hazard. So she hit me up to let me know that we need to reroute the vent to exhaust the dryer to the outside of the house. And I gave her the money, and I was assured that it was done. And when I came back from Florida and did an inspection of the house, it wasn't done.
So they took your money.
She took my money, and she had no explanation as to why it wasn't done.
Okay, so we don't know if she maliciously just didn't do it or just did.
No.
Gotcha.
She might have gave somebody the money to do it, and they never they just took the money and never did the job. But she never came back to verify that it was done. And then on top of the condition of the house, I was done after that, and I had to let it go.
I mean, the walls were messed up. Did you have to put new flooring in it, or were you able to save the flooring, Sam?
Well, in that instance, the flooring was saved. I just had to get an exterminator to get rid of the roaches that were in there, and then put some fresh paint on the wall.
Right. 7 months.
7 months. So after that, I let her go. I hired another property manager, and this experience wasn't too good either. This experience wasn't too good either, and this is why you have to properly vet people that you hire. Make sure that they're licensed. Get referrals, get reviews on them, and just ask around. This individual.
There's a new property manager, because no doubt you couldn't manage it. You doing military, you all around the world.
I was in and out. So this property manager, her license had expired a year before I hired her, and I didn't find it out until I started doing my research. Once I started seeing things going south, I started to do research on her, and that's when I found out her license had expired. So my relationship with her, when I first hired her, the house was vacant, and I told her I need to get somebody in there quick, so waive the security deposit, and I'll just take the first month's rent as the security deposit. Right.
Now, give me your mindset on that, Sam. I want to stay for a minute. What would make you want to do that?
Well, I figure it would attract more tenants and get them in there quickly. Right?
Okay, so you just
not thinking that would attract the wrong tenant. Right? But I also had the wrong property management in place. Right? So she got somebody in there. She got somebody in there that she knew.
Okay,
And,
so she do the tenant.
Say what?
They do the tenant.
Yes. I didn't find this out until months later.
Okay.
Yeah, so she got somebody in there, and the whole time I'm out to sea while all of this is going on. And while I'm talking to her on the phone, she's telling me that, we need to do this to the house. We need to, paint the walls. We need to clean this up. We need to do this. And I'm sending her money to do all of that. Right. And she's just showing me that I will have a tenant in there by the end of the month. All right. This is November, the end of November. All right.
Terrible
End of
time.
November came. Got on the phone, and she was telling me that she still hadn't found anybody to rent the house. Right.
Okay, so you're thinking it's still vacant right now. You're
still vacant. Yes. So fast forward to next month. Now
January.
I'm trying to call her, and her phone is off. Right, and she's running the business, but now her phone is off. Right, and I couldn't get a hold of her for an entire week. And that week we actually pulled in support, and she told me that somebody's going to be in there by next week. When I spoke to her in November, so I was like, let me just go to the house, see what's going on. The tenants are there. I just introduced myself as the landlord.
Tenants? I thought you said it was empty.
In November, it was empty when I spoke to her. Now, keep in mind, when I spoke to her in the beginning of November, she told me that she would have a tenant in there by the end of November. And the end of November came, it was still vacant.
No tenant, yeah, okay.
So she told me, okay, there was a delay, but I'm going to have them in there by the second week of December.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when I pull back into port, I go to the house to see if the tenants are there. If they were there, I was going to introduce myself as the landlord to see how their transition into the house went, see if there was anything else that they needed, to make sure life was good. Like, keep in mind, this whole time, I'm calling this property manager, and her phone is still off. Right?
Get out of here. So
I pull up to the house, and lo and behold, they're tenants at the property, and they just happen to be outside. Right? And I pulled up on them and introduced myself. And the tenants weren't happy. They weren't happy at all. So they told me that they moved in November. They did move in November.
They did.
They did.
The woman just made it up.
She made it up.
Go ahead. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish.
They were. I guess she wasn't expecting me to go to the house.
Check on it.
Yeah. So they've been in there for about a month, right? And they were upset because the property management charged them a late fee because they were late paying her the first month's rent for November, and she charged them a security deposit. So she collected a security deposit. She collected rent for November, right? And she also collected rent for December, right? Right?
This lady's got some real guts.
So she actually changed her number. They did have a working number for her. I got the number from them.
The tenant.
It's from the tenants. The AC and heating unit in the property also was having some issues, so they had no heat during the wintertime.
Wow.
Right? So they were threatening to go down to the city to put the rent in escrow. Right?
Yes, that's understandable.
So I told them I'll take care of it. So after I left them, I was actually en route to New York to go spend some time up there. On my way to New York, out of the blue, she calls me, right? And I asked her what was going on.
You ain't talked to her since you've been back.
They didn't talk to her since I've been back. Asked her what was going on. And she told me that he was still working on the house, and the house is still vacant.
This woman is crazy.
She told me the house is still vacant, Chris. But I met the tenants, right?
Unbelievable,
So,
man. At that time, you have gone by your house, met someone living in your house, and the property manager is saying no one's supposed to be. It's supposed to be vacant. She did collective rent and security deposit.
She actually told me that she wasn't going to be able to get the tenants in there until the 1st of January.
So she's got What is it? What was the rent, Sam? If you don't, I mean, how much was it renting?
I believe I was charging them 1300.
So you got 13, 26, 36, 3,900, almost $4,000, Sam. What were you thinking when you got that phone call, Sam? What was your mind? I mean, good Lord.
Well, I just wanted to hear what she had to say. I was expecting her to say, well, something happened with my phone. I was able to get tenants in there. You're good.
Give
I
you the
got
money.
rent money for you.
That's what you were thinking.
That's what I was thinking. But she told me that the place was still vacant. And that she was expecting to get the tenants in there by the 1st of January. And this is when I knew I had a problem, because now she's lying, right? I met the tenants. They're in the house, right? So I told her, and at that time, the contract that I had with her was about to expire.
Property management contract.
And the thing of it is, I trusted her because when I went into business with her, the first tenants were still in the property. The first tenants that were put in there from Prudential Town Realty.
Okay.
And those tenants, according to her, they stopped paying the rent. Right. So I told her to take them to court and get them evicted out of the property. Right. And she was able to successfully do that. She got them out of the house very quick. Right. They actually just got up and left. And now it was her job to put new tenants in there. Right.
Okay, so she kind of showed and proved what she could do.
Yeah. So fast forward back to after she told me that the property was still vacant and there were tenants in there. I told her I'm in New York right now. When I get back from New York, I want to have a face-to-face meeting with you. And she was like, "Oh, right, fine, cool. By the way, your contract with me is about to expire. We can get that renewed, right? And everything will be all good, right?"
While she's holding your 4,000.
Yes.
So
I get back to Virginia, and I meet her at a Barnes and Noble. And
did you know all this showing up for this meeting?
All of it. I already had all the juice, Chris. I already had everything. Right?
Unreal.
So I meet her in the Barnes and Nobles, and she proceeds to tell me, like, this needs to be done to the house. We need to do this. We're gonna get a tenant in there the first of January. We already got somebody lined up. We're gonna be good to go. Here's the paperwork. Can you please sign this? And that's when I told her, listen.
What paperwork is this, Sam?
Just to have me in contract with her, saying that she was my property management for that property.
For extension.
Yes, the previous contract that I had with her expired. So she wanted to renew that contract.
I bet she loved you coming up in there. Yeah, I would be wanting to get an extension too.
Yeah, she did. So she brought the contract out, and I told her, I was like, listen, I know everything. I already been to the house. I already met the tenants. I already know that you gave them a security deposit. I already know you charged them rent in November. I want my money, right? And she just had this look on her face, like, oh, like she didn't know what to say, right? So she started going into a side story about how she was going through a divorce, and her it was during Christmas time. She needed money for her kids for Christmas presents and stuff like that. I'm like, what about my family? I told her I want my money, right? I ended up taking her to court. The judge ruled in my favor.
Yeah.
I had to garnish her wages. So that was another process that I had to learn about. Because she had a lot of other creditors that were hunting her down as well. So I pretty much got nothing, Chris. I got $0. Nothing. I just had to take that up.
What did you do with the tenants?
Well, the tenants were still there. The crazy thing is, I didn't have any information on them. She had all of that information, all of their security numbers and all of that. How they were getting income. She had all of that information. I didn't have anything. So I had to, go back to the tenants and kind of, figure and piece all of that together. Right?
Introduce yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that was nasty, no doubt, because they've been listening to her for months. Who is this new dude shows up saying he's the owner? Why would I believe you? Who are you?
Yeah. So now, I decided I didn't have too bad experiences with property management. I'm just gonna do it myself. How hard can it be? How hard can it be, Chris? Right. So, about 2 months or 3 months after I got rid of her, they started to default on payment. They started paying late. All right. And I tried my best to work with them. The husband, he was a pastor or a
Oh,
bishop.
wow.
He was a bishop. Every time I went to the house, he had one of those white collars around his neck. And the wife, she worked at some pharmacy somewhere.
Okay.
And I told them, well, would it be easier on you guys if you pay me half of the rent up front for the first at the first and pay me the rest mid-month? And they said, no, that'd be fine. We can do that. They weren't able to do that, so I had to eventually take them to court and evict them.
What?
Yeah, and this was another episode to where I was going to have to garnish, their wages. The thing is, the important information that I needed, I didn't have because that was all with the old property management.
Mm-hmm.
And the wife looked me in my face when I, went to her asking her for her job information. And social security number. She looked me in my face and she said, honey, if you ain't got it by now, you ain't never gonna get it. Right?
Basically, screw you.
They ended up paying me everything that they owed. They
Why?
ended up I'm not sure why. Like they were depositing the rent in my account, and they continued to deposit the rent in my account until they satisfied the amount that they were behind.
Oh, that's nice of them to do that.
But I still got them out of there. They still had to go. So after they were evicted, they still continued to pay me my money. I didn't have to go through the whole garnishment with them.
Good for you, Sam.
So now the house is vacant again. Right. I got to get the house back rent ready. Got to dump more money into it. All right. And now I'm tired with the whole property management thing. I'm gonna do this myself. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get it fixed up. Put the property, advertise the property for rent, and I'm going to find a tenant myself. How hard could it be? All right.
Okay, so let me just make sure I bring us up to speed. Roundup. This is Sam Coker, active military duty. Thank you for your service, Sam. He's been dealing with property management for several years, had bad experiences with that. And now he's here just sharing his experiences of him coming from a private pay tenant, I'm here to tell you, to a Section 8 tenant. So Sam is going to share with us his story. And don't forget, coming this Friday, the Landlord's Guide to Section 8 Housing will be released this Friday, Roundup. I love you. Thank you guys for supporting my channel. I'm here to help you get your rents as we go through these difficult times and the holidays are coming. All right, Sam, give me the time of year and give me the story about you taking over it, self-managing it.
All right,
get your questions in the chat box too, Roundup. Go ahead.
This had to be in this was a while ago, Chris. It had to be like 20.
I mean, what time of year? Are we talking spring, fall, winter?
This is around springtime.
Okay, go. So you just got the other people out. You got a judgment now. You decided to be the management now. You're gonna manage it yourself. Go ahead.
So I start managing the property. Start managing the property. Put the property out. Started advertising the property. Got a ton of phone calls.
Nice house. Yeah. What is the house? Give me the product. How many beds and baths?
The house is 4-bed, 2.5 baths. It's about 1,900 square feet.
You can't go wrong with that. It's just, it's not like it's a 2-1 or something.
Yeah. Decent sized family house, upstairs, downstairs.
Different street. Cul-de-sac, what?
Cul-de-sac, quiet street. Right down the street from Langley Air Force Base. Very nice neighborhood.
Gotcha.
So I had a couple that called me, and they provided proof of income, right? They were even willing to, pay me a holding fee to hold the property so nobody else could get the property.
Okay, I like that.
All right, and after vetting a few tenants, I was convinced that these guys would be a good fit.
Gotcha.
The first red flag that I should have paid attention to was when the wife of the wife out of that couple told me that she was a Moor.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I at that time I wasn't familiar with what that was. Right.
Yeah.
And she told me that she couldn't provide me with a social security number because they don't use social security numbers. Look it up.
Yeah. You're right.
Well,
they're supposed to be above that stuff.
Yeah, but she said, you can use my husband's, right? And I did. Everything came back, no evictions, and I put him in there. But this time, I was getting ready to go out to sea, and something told me, like, you know what, you're not here. You're gonna have to go back and hire property management. So I hired a property management company out of Virginia Beach, and they actually did a very good job.
Okay, all right.
I told them if as soon as they pay late, pay rent late once, I want them out of there. All right. So before I went out to sea, they paid rent on time. I got a good 3 months of rent on time. And once I went out to sea, about 2 months later, they paid the rent late. All right. I don't think I ever got that money. And I told the property management, take them to court. I want them out of there. All right.
You sound like somebody scorned. You got a couple cuts on you.
I want them out of there. All right. So the property management was able to get them out of there. We got them evicted. Cool. I pulled back into port. They didn't even show up to court. They got the notice and they just left. And when I say they left everything in there, TVs, beds, everything, flat screen TVs, all of that. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna sell all of this, but I can sell myself. They broke back into the house for that flat screen TV. Yeah. What? They came back for the TV. They couldn't live without it, but everything else they left. I had to dump all of that stuff. Right.
Gotcha.
Their mother was staying there with them. She had some sort of health condition going on, so I had to replace the carpet in her room because it smelled like piss in there. I guess whatever she was urinating in must have spilled all over the floor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So after them, my maintenance guy, a good friend of mine, he referred me to somebody he knew. He said, she'll take very good care of your property. She'll get some good tenants in there. Go with her. And I went with her. She
another property manager. Okay.
Yeah, property manager. And she was able to get some very, very good tenants in there.
Okay. That's the ones that we were talking about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I believe this is tenant number 4.
Gotcha. I want my rounduppers to see that there's a recurring pattern. It's not that these people have moved out on good terms. We don't have anybody so far that you're leaving with good terms yet.
No.
Gotcha.
Except for this couple that moved in.
Coming up now. That stuff's emotional. Let me ask you, Sam, how about your emotions? I mean, your feelings, your life energy dealing with this stuff. Tell me about that.
It's draining, Chris. It's draining. It's draining. Especially when you're dumping money into something, you're not really seeing that much of a return coming back. You're providing a service for somebody, and they're not holding up their end of the bargain. Something breaks in the house, you have to jump up and go over there and get it fixed. If the AC breaks, or if the heating unit breaks, you got to go over there and get that stuff fixed for their comfort. So if I'm providing the service to you, you should have a good heart and pay me what's due. Right?
Yeah. One would think that that's how most people think, but you have learned the hard way, as I did. It's just not the case. So you got this one good one. Good.
Yeah. So the couple that this property management put in there, outstanding, very, very good. They paid their rent before the first. And if anything was wrong with the property, they gave her a courtesy call ahead of time. Yeah, the only thing that I didn't like was they had a dog. They had a dog, but the dog really didn't do that much damage to the property, other than shed hair all over the carpets and stuff like that.
Okay.
But the husband, he got laid off from work.
Mm-hmm.
He had a job out in Northern Virginia, so he was actually transiting from Virginia to Northern Virginia every week.
Hampton Road.
To Hampton Roads, and they're coming back to Hampton Roads on the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people probably do that, but I don't think that's super uncommon here. But it is a lot to do. You're talking about 3 hours in the.
And they also had another mortgage that they were dealing with as well. So they had a mortgage for another house in Hampton, paying me rent, and also paying for his lodging over in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, but they were getting. But they were getting whacked.
And they were still able to pay their rent on time. Yes, somebody had got murdered outside of their home in Hampton, and he decided to move his wife into a better neighborhood.
Ah, gotcha.
And moved into my house. So he eventually got laid off. So they had to downsize, and they actually left and moved the area and moved to Florida. So,
you know what? I found out, Sam, from my experience, man, most generally in the general public, you're going to get laid off one day. I mean, just not today, it'd be one day. Okay, so we got that one good one, and what's this one more we got?
So the property management, since she got me, I was such outstanding tenants, I was like, well, I can't go wrong with her. And she got me another tenant.
Mm-hmm.
And they were actually pretty decent as well, until they fell on hard times. She eventually her hours at work got cut back, and she started getting paid less, and she couldn't really afford to pay me what she owed. But before that, when they moved into the house, they did cost me about $1,000.
Doing what?
Well, when they moved in, I already had appliances in place, and wherever she was moving from, she had her own fridge. Right? I just had the basic fridge, and she asked me, like, listen, I have a fridge that has a water dispenser and an ice dispenser. Can I move that into the house, and we'll just take the other fridge and put that into the pantry area for just extra storage, right? Mm-hmm. I said, no problem. So whoever they had installed the fridge with the ice dispenser and the water dispenser didn't hook the connections up in the back of the fridge properly.
So it was leaking.
So it was leaking water for about 6 months. Before I got a call, I think a pipe under the house busted, because your floors is all spongy, and every time I step on the floors, like water's just bubbling up through the floors.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't take much water, right? A few weeks.
No, it doesn't take much. But this is a 6-month period to where I got the phone call. Right? Mm-hmm. So I had my maintenance guy go over there. He took a look, and he was like, "Man, no pipe busted under the house. It's coming from the fridge. Nobody hooked that fridge up properly." Mm-hmm. So from that, I got a brand new kitchen. I got a brand new dining room area, brand new living room. They had to replace everything. They had to bring take the kitchen down to the studs, because the walls are so saturated with water, and they had to pretty much do the majority of the first floor.
So it sounds like are you telling me that there was possibly an insurance claim on that?
Well, yeah.
Gotcha.
Man. So shortly after that, brand new kitchen. That's when she started to default on paying her rent.
After you put the kitchen in?
After I put the kitchen in. And she told me, she was very honest, after about 2 months of her paying late, listen, they cut my hours back. I'm having a difficult time right now. And I tried to work with them. But it just kept getting worse. And I eventually had to take them to court and get them evicted.
Golly. Sam, I'm just like, I know you like, man, there's got to be a better way, no doubt. I'm just thinking about myself.
Yeah. I can laugh about it now. I wasn't laughing about it then. and that's when me and you had that conversation about going Section 8, and that's when I made that transition.
So up until now, Roundup, we're with Sam Coker. Just to bring you up to speed, we got 82 people on here, Sam, listening to you and your stories, wanting to know your transition from private pay tenants over to Section 8. So far we've heard all the stories, and Sam, what I want you to know is that's not a rarity. I mean, it's same thing for me. I feel like who knows? I was in eviction court because I have more than one house. I've got a bunch of them. I feel like I was in court every other month. I mean, with just people trying to rip me off, people dodging me, ducking me, don't want to pay, or making me call them. I'm like, who has time to do that? You know, the rent is due. Every month is no different.
Yeah.
It's due every month. So why I got to call you?
Yeah.
So now we're thinking about. So we talked, Sam. I know you can't. We were talking about it. So I want you to know, be as transparent. This is. I pride myself on being transparent with you and with my Roundup community. I know what it's done for me, Sam, but tell me, when you switched over from doing for private pay, now give me a little overview of how that's been working out for you for the Section 8 government program.
Well, I mean, it's been great. It's been great, Chris. I don't have any complaints. I mean, I also learned a lot from, you know, renting to those previous tenants on how to properly vet your tenants before
Screen
your tenants before you put them in there.
Big.
And that also made a big difference as well. Because Section 8 can also go bad as well if you don't screen your tenants.
Screening.
I actually grew up. Seeing or being around Section 8 tenants. My father has a multi-family in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
And he also rented to Section 8 tenants as well. I have horror stories with that too.
So, man, we didn't necessarily talk about how you felt about it, Sam. I know you just asked me what did I think, and I gave you my opinion. What were your feelings? What were you thinking about it as we were talking about this?
Before going into Section 8, Section 8 was a no-no.
Why is that? Tell me your apprehension.
And that was because of what I seen growing up, and some of the things that I saw my father, you know, what he had to deal with.
Okay.
You know? So I was completely turned off in regards to Section 8. I thought, you know, Section 8 was a bad thing. You know, the tenants are going to go in there, they're going to tear your property up, they're not going to pay. And like I said, it all boils down to screening your tenants properly. Mm-hmm. Right? I can't say that he wasn't doing that, but the Section 8, but with some of the Section 8 tenants that he had, they were horrible.
Gotcha. Horrible. Wow. What year was that, Sam, by the way? Is that 90s or late 80s?
This is early 90s. Early 90s.
Yeah.
Early 90s. In Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. He had a four family brownstone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, and he had a few Section 8 tenants staying in there.
So you never told me that you were apprehensive. I mean, you never said, "Well, I don't know, Chris. I don't know what you doing. You talking crazy." Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel that from you.
Well, I mean, I check your word. I mean, it sounded like things were going a lot better for you. So I was like, you know, let me, you know, give it a try. And I'm glad I did. You know, like I said, it all boils down to you properly screening the people that you're putting in your property. Right?
Yeah.
It could be Section 8 and they can still go in there and tear that house up. Right?
So I'm thinking about your financial stability. The reason I'm doing this course and I want people to know, for me, I needed some stability in my life. I want to ask you, let me ask you about the payments that came in on private pay. I've heard about those so far. They've been late, sometimes they don't. Tell me about the payments that have come ever since we've had you on the Section 8 housing.
Payments are always on time. Always on time. Rain, sleet, hail, snow. The payments are always on time. I haven't had any hiccups with that. It's like the property's not even there until the checks come. You know?
Yeah. Would you consider that a good thing, Sam?
Yes. It's a very good thing. It's also been a big relief on me as well. You know?
Now, I want to ask you about your mindset and your mental stability, Sam. I know for me, I don't think about rent coming in. It doesn't even cross my mind. Let me ask you, how does it? I know before on private pay, I'm like, okay, who's going to pay? When are they going to pay? Did they do that? How's your mental stability regarding your income from that property?
It's at ease, Chris. It's at ease. I'm not worrying, you know, if this person is going to get laid off or If they're gonna come to me with a story about this, that, and the third, this problem that they're having, this personal problem that they're having, is why they can't pay me their rent. Their child's school bill has to be paid this month, so I got to
Wow.
take care of that first. Or
Wow.
my car broke down and I got to take care of that first.
Mhm.
I haven't heard any of that since I started renting Section 8.
Wow, good for you, Sam. For the 85 people that are on here, I'm thinking about just life energy, mental stability. I just remember myself. I think that's probably attributed to me losing my hair. I see your hair is still good. Sam, I'm just thinking, I don't, once again, it doesn't even cross my mind. And, the check, boom, it's right there. Has that allowed you to have has it allowed you to actually live a better life? Let me ask you that.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's not something that I think about anymore. And anybody that I speak to that's interested in renting their house, I let them know, like, hey, this is what I'm going through. I'm having a very, very good experience with Section 8. I advise you to go Section 8 as well.
Nice, nice. That is cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool, Sam. Well, that's my time for 45 minutes. We got a bunch of questions, Sam. I'm glad for you because it's weird. I meet a lot of people from New York, right? First thing out of their mouth, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. I'm just like, okay, I just keep getting my checks. I'm so glad. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, New York is very tenant friendly. They're not really landlord friendly. It'll take you a very, very long time to evict somebody out of your place in New York than in Virginia. Virginia is very quick. New York, it can take a very, very long time.
Maybe that's why, okay, the landlords that I'm meeting, they are from there, but they're here now, or they have really relocated and they have property here or in other states. So I think maybe they're getting that apprehension from their background like you did. Sam. Maybe that I'm trying to pinpoint it.
I know for me that's definitely what it was. That's definitely what it
Gotcha.
was.
Gotcha.
I've had my father's Section 8 tenants wave a gun at me out the window. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you good. Round up. We are here with Sam Coker sharing his experiences. We got 80 people on here hanging out with us, Sam. We're going to get to some Q&A. He's sharing his experiences from private pay tenant now to Section 8. He looks you look relaxed. You ain't worried about it. It's first of the month. Boom. No problems.
Yep.
Round up. We're going to get some Q&A. Listen, don't forget this Friday, 12 o'clock. Come on in, Bubba. 12 o'clock noon, the Landlord's Guide to Section 8 Housing. We will be releasing it. I'm going to be going live, and I'm going to have some goodies for you for all people that support my channel. Oh, snap. Okay, we got another visitor here. I'm sorry. Bubba, what you got? Talk to the people, Bubba. What you got?
I'm selling bracelets too. Support kid entrepreneurs by buying one of your bracelets. Those are the ones that I made. And I have some
This is too much.
new colors and charms.
So, Bubba, you are doing these bracelets. These things are so cool. What are these little things hanging right here, Bubba? This little thing. Charms. So this one says, that's a nice one. This is a Black Lives Matter here. I don't know if anybody wants this one here. So how much are these things, Bubba?
That one is $12 because the charm, the Black Lives Matter charm, is more.
It's expensive. How about if they don't want a charm, Bubba? How much is something like this?
That one is $8.
$8. All right. So round up. I'll put a link to the kids' bracelets.
I'll show you.
What else you got? Something else? Okay.
Some new colors. You can see all my colors here.
Oh, okay. You got different colors. You opening this up? Different colors that she has, a bracelet. She's got all type of colors for you, round up if you want. Just put your colors in that you want in that link and the color and any text that you want her to put on it for you. More colors?
I have some more. I have some black crowns with diamonds on them.
Different colors she has, bro. Y'all just pick any color you like. But crowns too, if you want a medallion, she can put a crown on it for you. We got to get some pictures for those crowns, bro. Anything else you want to tell them? Come on over. They can't see you.
Support kid entrepreneurs by buying one of my bracelets. And thank you.
All right. Good job. Get up out of here, bro.
I'm gonna have to get one of those too. Those are nice.
Man, those black, the black and the yellow green, them joints been selling crazy.
Nice.
Very nice. Round up. Thank y'all for entertaining my daughters. I'm just trying to teach them something different than all that craziness they're learning in school. I do love Christopher Columbus. I mean, I think it's cool stuff. But I just all right. Let's do this. Sam, you ready for some Q&A, bud?
Let's go. Do it.
Lots of questions. Oh, my boy, Chris here. Yes, Los Angeles, LA in the building. 55 TDT. Do you need to clear your property through Section 8 Housing Authority before a potential tenant can submit a lease application? Did we do that? Did we do yours, Sam?
I believe we did get it inspected by Section 8 before they were able to move in there.
Before they moved in, but we were taking applications. We took a ton of applications before anybody moved in, though.
I do remember you having me fill out Section 8 paperwork before.
Yeah, before
we started marketing that property for rent.
Okay, so it depends on how you want to do it. You can get it inspected before, or what I do, I just take it a bunch of apps, and then I just do the inspection. I do the repairs at the last minute before the inspector comes. Okay. But yes, you will 555 TDT. You will have to do the Sam, tell us about your first one. I know I vaguely remember it was a little brutal, but it wasn't the end of the world. You will have to pass the inspections now, Sam. I have if you get the Landlord's Guide to Section 8 Housing, I've got a 4-page checklist that goes over everything. Tell us about your inspection, Sam.
The inspection went well. There were some things that I had to correct, like changing the I think it's a GFI.
Yeah, bathroom. Yeah,
in the bathroom. I had to add those into the bathroom. Drain stoppers for the sinks. Mm-hmm. Screens for a few of the windows that were torn.
That's big. Yeah, they would beat that.
A few of the railings, the
stairs,
and the railing for the stairs were missing. I had to replace those. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I don't think I had to do anything else other than the normal stuff like painting the walls once the other tenants moved out. Changing the carpets out, stuff like that.
I don't know if you remember, for you, we didn't want to repair those doors, so we just round up. I'm gonna give you a gem here. Well, I think, did we just take the closet doors off, just delete them completely?
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
The metal. They did hit me on the closet doors also. It was the metal fold up accordion doors.
Those old joints.
Yeah. We took those off completely. The blinds for the windows, we took those out as well.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
So round up. I'm just give you that nugget there. If your closet doors are bad, just take them down. Just delete them. You don't even need to have closet doors. Robert Richards. Hey, Robert, can the property management also be a real estate agent since they have a state license? Sam knows more about that.
Yes, they can. A real estate agent can manage your property.
Mm-hmm. TB Williams, do you prefer using the property manager, or have you found self-managing to be more productive?
I currently have a property manager in place. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, Chris is now managing that property for me. But in my opinion, for me, with the job that I was in, it was a big stress off of my shoulders to have a competent property manager in place to get things handled for me while I was out to sea.
Well, in my experience, Sam, I mean, was it a lot of stuff that we had to deal with? I mean, I don't even remember, but so much had to be done.
I think I probably can count on one hand the amount of phone calls that I got from you. That bad storm that came through that knocked that tree down.
How about that tree? Yeah, that's big. I mean, you gotta do that.
Yeah. Other than that, it was just small little minor stuff.
Yeah. Well, shoot. If you're getting out of the military, you might be able to just manage it yourself now, Sam.
Yeah, that's true.
If you want to. Yeah.
That's
don't
true.
Matter to me. Chris Birch, rewind to when Sam wanted to be a traditional landlord. What value would he place on the knowledge he's learning from our landlord Section 8 landlord course that I'm offering? That's a good question. Sam?
You can get a lot from somebody that has walked that path before, that has already went through a lot of the mistakes, and that can bring you up to speed on that, so you don't go through those same mistakes. So having somebody that can walk you through that, like Chris here, is very valuable. 'Cause I wasn't even thinking about Section 8 before you brought that up.
Really?
Yeah, Section 8 was probably the farthest thing from my mind before you brought that up.
You know what, Sam? I hear this a lot. This is so why the reason I'm doing this. And here's the thing, Sam. I'm nervous. I'm nervous and I'm concerned for the future of our real estate market. I'm getting calls all around the country. People aren't paying rent, can't be evicted. They don't know if they're going to be employed. I think it's a lot going on, Sam. And I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just want to kind of do my part to say, hey, listen, let's get this thing back on track,
And that's another thing with everything that's going on with COVID. A lot of people aren't bringing in income like they were before that. A lot of people have been laid off.
Yeah, man.
And I can say I haven't been affected by that.
Good for you. On your job wise, neither on your rental property wise.
Yep.
Good for you, Sam. Good. That's a good question, Chris. TB Williams, have you ever used a super versus a property manager, somebody living in it, multifamily?
Well, I don't own a multifamily. So I've never had to deal with a super. My father was actually a super in Brooklyn at one point.
Gotcha. Yeah, we don't have a lot of that around here. I've seen some supers live in hotels, but Williams, do you have any experience self-managing out-of-state properties, Sam?
We do have a rental in Pittsburgh, and we did go through some hiccups with that. The first two tenants that we had in there did cause some problems, but I haven't had any issues with the tenants that I have in there now.
Gotcha. Well, we got a Timothy.
We're actually managing that property from out of state.
Okay, gotcha. I guess yeah. Timothy Coker, are you guys related?
That's my brother.
Oh,
yeah.
What's up, Timothy? What's up, brother? Round up, get your questions in. With 75 people here with Sam Coker, active military, getting ready to retire, full-time real estate guy, landlord, gone from private pay now to Section 8. Round up, I have to make sure I drill it into you. This Friday, the Landlord's Guide to Section 8 housing will be released at noon. Make sure you hit the bell. And if you want more information, please go to the video description below. You will see a link where you can sign up for our mailing list. You will be able to see all the different emails that are going to be coming out. I'm going to be releasing a little bit of the training before Friday, so I would love to be able to communicate with you. There's a link in the video description. Go ahead and get signed up with that. All right, let's see what we got here. Next question. Timothy, if I buy a house from a landlord that rented Section 8, will the property automatically qualify for Section 8 under my ownership, or will I have to do an inspection or assessment? Good question, Tim. Yes. You will have to do a re-inspection only when that year comes up for that tenant. So I bought houses with Section 8 tenants, and the department, they don't care. All they care about is the fiscal year when that lease is renews. So you're good. Williams, do you find Section 8 to be a remedy for the investor in relation to prevent the falling on hard times and the interruption of your cash flow? Sam.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, I mean, yeah, I do. Like I said, I get my rent. Come, rain, sleet, hail, snow. Like my rent is in the mailbox.
So automatic pay. Yep. Automatic pay. Williams, yes, that's how it works. Cola, hey, Crown Heights. Is that somewhere Sam?
That's in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Williams, do you work directly with the housing office for a Section 8, or do you advertise for tenants? Yes, we work directly with the department. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, and I believe we also did some advertising ourselves as well.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I can't remember what my mind was at saying, but I'm like, look, if you want to get your money, if you want me to deal with this, I'm gonna make sure the money coming in. I don't have time. I don't remember the whole conversation, but I'm like, look, this is what I do. I don't worry about it.
Yeah. I don't think we did that much back and forth about it. You was like, Section 8, you'll probably do better with Section 8. I was like, let's do it. Like, I was just tired of dealing with, the other stuff. I was like, let's do it. Let's
Good
do it.
for you. Thank you for letting me take the lead on that one, Sam. That's cool. Kidpreneurs, that's right. Thank you, Chris. So, Farah, how do you guys think about renting an apartment with all utilities included, Sam?
I can't speak on that one.
Me neither. I don't know.
Is that you as a landlord paying the utilities for the tenant?
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, that in my opinion, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
What's the first thing they're gonna do, Sam, if they don't have to pay for the heat or electricity?
It's just run the water as long as they want to. Blast the AC all day. So when
windows up, air conditioning on. Selling water, got it, power cords running to the Anyway, I'm gonna be quiet. Williams, Bubba, how do we purchase? Oh yeah, Williams, if you guys can support the Kidpreneurs, the link is in the video description. Go ahead, it's a link right there to get all your bracelets, guys. Thank you so much for supporting Kidpreneurs here. Cola, for Section 8 rentals, can you put monthly pet deposits or pet fees? Can you do both? Absolutely, you can. DW Cromarty. With rents being as high as it is and income not moving as much, Section 8 is my most desired kind of tenant. Good for you, DW. Good for you. Gary, greetings. How are tenants vetted or screened? What's the criteria?
Well, I know for us, I actually set up a meeting with the potential tenants before they moved in. Just go sit down with them in their current living situation, just to see how they're taking care of their own property, the property that they're currently renting. I didn't tell them that I was coming there to inspect. Just came there to meet them, so they and also introduce myself. And while I'm there, I'm looking around, make sure I don't see roaches crawling around, make sure it smells nice and fresh, and then make sure the house is kept well. Mm-hmm. If you go into somebody's property and it's a mess in there, and roaches are crawling around, there's holes in the walls, they're going to move into your property and they're going to do the same exact thing. They're going to take care of their property just like they took care of the house they were living in.
Yep, that's big, Sam. That's big. I recommend you to do that too, Gary. Janielle, living next door to Section 8 tenants can be a nuisance. Do you get complaints from the neighbors about your Section 8 tenants? I don't know, but I don't know what this Section 8 is.
I said, we properly screened the tenants before we put them in there. The last tenants that we got in there that were very nice. I mean, there's been times where they've volunteered to fix little small things that are broken inside the house.
I don't know what. Go ahead.
When the tree fell down, the mother that was living there, her son had volunteered to go up there and cut the branch that was hanging off, and I was like, "Nah, I can't do that because you guys are not going to sue me if he."
Problem with that.
So my tenants are very nice.
Yeah, mine too, Sam. I mean, I love them, man. No problem. As long as you treat them, my thing is you treat them with respect. I treat them with the utmost of respect, man, and they like that. DW, you must make sure your tenant has a voucher for as many rooms as your home. That's true. Yeah. Gary, what does Section 8 look like on your taxes, Sam?
Well, I mean, you pay taxes as if you would a regular rental. There's no difference.
Same thing.
No difference.
Yep. G. Logan, have you paid tenants to move out of a property or pay for moving expenses, and how much, if you did, Sam?
I've never had to pay a tenant to leave. They've always left on their own.
Jenny, what do you look for? Oh, okay. What did you look for when you were selecting a property manager, Sam?
Well, you want to make sure that if you're going with the property management company, that they are licensed. You want to look for reviews that they have an online presence to see what other people are saying about them. With my relationship with you, there was a lot of trust that was built up. You started off as my mentors first, so that's why I went along, to use you. But yeah, just vetting that property manager, make sure that they're licensed, and they have good reviews.
Jenny, good question. Trucker on house made in 1912. Ooh. with no HVAC. Would you invest in buying that, Sam? 1912.
Sure, it all depends on the condition of that 1912 house.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
And all
good.
depends on how much money you're willing to, to sink into that.
Yeah, I'm good. Roundup, I don't want you buying nothing that old. I have done it. What happens with older houses, the rooms are out of square. They use old 2x4s. A lot of the building materials don't translate to the stuff that they sell in Lowe's. The footers around the side start to deteriorate. Now in the city, go ahead, Sam.
The plumbing, you also got to worry about that too.
Plumbing, old, this stuff, the fitting fixtures don't match. I mean, in the city now up there, you got quality stuff that was built in the early 1900s, correct?
For my property?
From where you at up in the city. I'm talking about it in the city.
I'm not too sure. I can't speak on that.
Okay.
Whatever.
Well, I know around here.
I'm not too smart on all of the the hiccups that he had to go through with that.
Well, I know around here, I don't want you buying in the Hampton Roads area. Don't buy nothing that's that old. Just don't do it, man. You're just asking for a headache. Loriano, hey, thank you for your service, my friend. Have you ever had to get a caseworker at Section 8 involved with a tenant regarding any violations?
No.
Yeah, we have. They aren't helpful. They don't deal with that stuff. They don't. All they do, you got to remember, Loriano, all Section 8 does is help you with the rent, period. All that other stuff you got to deal with. And that's why the course is designed to help you with. Abrion, how many properties do you have, Sam?
I currently have 3. One that I'm living in. I have 2 rental properties.
Gotcha. Hey, Abrion, what was the price of your first rental, Sam?
The price of my first rental, I paid $199,000 for that. $199,000 for the house, and I can honestly say, looking back, I paid way too much for that house.
Well, you had to learn. You learned that over time.
I paid way too much for that house, Chris. But,
Y'all hear? Why do you say that, Sam?
Say what?
What makes you say that?
Well, I purchased that house back in 2007, right before the crash. So that house is definitely not worth what I owe on it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not worth what I owe on it. So in my opinion, I don't think that house was a good investment. But my second properties, my second 2 properties that we bought, I got smart on that.
Well, my thing is, Sam, you pay the price of admission to get started, right? Yep. We all bought bad ones. And unfortunately for me, I lost all my bad ones. The bank took it. I didn't, I couldn't. Anyway. No foe. Do you guys prefer younger Section 8 tenants or older tenants? We can't discriminate on that, but I would prefer to have whoever's going to be stable going to be in there for 3 years or more. So I don't really care if you're young or old.
I agree.
Chris, hey, Chris Birch, are the documents included to all these transactions correctly or included in the course? Yes. So with the Section 8, with the Landlord's Guide to Section 8 housing, you're going to get all my docs. You're going to get my application, my lease, the lead-based paint disclosure stuff, the landlord tenant walk-in checklist, the pre-inspection checklist, so you'll know exactly what to do before the inspectors show up to your property. You got to know this stuff. If you don't know, you're headed for disaster. So really, and I'm here to tell you, you can do this on your own. You can go to Section 8 and figure it all out. But why not spend a few $100 just to get yourself covered and get the experiences from me since 2007 dealing with this craziness, right? Has it been worth it, Sam, dealing with me? I never even asked you. Hey, Sam, am I worth? I don't know.
Every penny, Chris. Every penny. Every penny.
Thank you. Gary, how hard is it to evict a Section 8 tenant?
I haven't gone through that as of yet. I have not had to evict any of the Section 8 tenants that I've had.
I have, yeah. It's the same as, it depends. They can dig their heels in, or they can go peacefully. It all depends on the person. It can be easy or it can be hard. No foe for the 85 people on here, Sam. I want you to, in a minute, we're going to give you a final statement. I know, Chris, you got a bunch of rentals. How do you acquire my homes? We buy them cash with a little bit of financing or subject to. How do you determine which home you Section 8? The Section 8, it depends if I know I don't want to sell it and I know it's going to be a long-term hold. I will do a Section 8. right? Or like even now, I'm concerned my lease options. They're always late. They're late because they're working. They're suffering just like everybody else. G. Logan, have you ever not given tenant a 30-day notice? Have I ever not given? Well, here's the thing. Oh yeah, 30-day notice. I've only evicted one Section 8 tenant. Yeah, I had to give her a 30-day notice. Sam, premium clean. What did you pay for the next two houses that you got? Since you paid, I don't even know, 200 grand.
Yeah, the rental property that we got in Pittsburgh, we paid $27,000 for that. That one was a owner finance situation.
Nice.
$7,000 down, and the tenants that we put into that property paid that property off.
Nice. I love it, Sam. You know what? Paid off. I didn't. You know what's weird? I didn't even know those words. I'm like, I didn't even know you could pay a house off when I was starting off. You know, pay. I'm like, damn, you could really do that. You know, so I'm hearing that you're doing it. Good for you, Sam.
So that home is free and clear. The one that I live in, I paid $65,000 for that.
Good. Okay. Abrion, is the course good for all states? You're in Texas. Absolutely. 50 states. And don't forget, we've got Jessica Siegel and Rosanna Rodan Jackson. Jessica Siegel is an attorney in New York. She's in the training. Rosanna is a housing caseworker that's been doing this since 2001. So she's going to be covering a bunch of stuff too. You got to know. Trucker, last question. Are the houses in my area of Pennsylvania are 1800s to 1940s? Wow. So how do I get on the business of real estate? Sam, what do you recommend on that?
Just get, align yourself with somebody that's rocking and rolling in that area that knows the lay of that land. And get advice from them as to how you should move in that area.
Good question. Good answer. Good answer. Yeah, you're gonna have to get. I don't like those old PAs. Yeah. No, I don't know, Sam. You better be doing some wholesaling until you find something. 1940s, I'm not mad at, but I would rather you have 1960s and up. Just nasty. Can you imagine? Do you know? I don't know if people know this. A 2x4 at Lowe's is not a 2x4. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, it's like 1 5/8 by 3 3/4. So back in the day, they really did use 2x4. So you got a piece of wood that's this big, and the new ones are like they're like a little bit smaller. Nothing matches. Sheetrock. You got 1/2-inch sheetrock trying to mix with 5. I mean, stuff. The building materials. You know how man does. They make stuff smaller. They skim to sell you. They want to charge more for less. So you try. I promise you, dude. If you try to match up a wall or even a door to an old door with these new 2x4s, it's hell. It's hell.
Yeah, one issue that we're having with the property that we have in PA right now, because that one is an older house.
So this is Pennsylvania too. That's what the trucker's talking about.
Yeah. The piping, the piping is old. So over the summer we did have sewage start to back up into the house because the roots are starting to dig into those old piping. So the piping is going to have to be changed out.
Old galvanized stuff, man. The roots, they smell the water. Last question, Levy. Chris, what do you mean when they said the bank took it back? I have foreclosures. Yeah, I've had subject twos taken back that we didn't make the payments on, and I've had houses that I borrowed. I signed for the debt. I've had it all. I've lost subject twos and lost houses with my name on them, both of them, because the payment, either the payment's too high, I can't sustain it, or the payment's too high, man. Shit. Sam, as we end here, we got 87 people here listening to What Saith Sam Coker. Final thoughts on private pay versus Section 8 tenants, my friend. What are you going to give us?
I think you can't go wrong with Section 8, especially with the times that we're in right now. It's a guaranteed check as long as you're keeping up with the upkeep of that property. You should have no problem getting your money.
Gotcha.
And with any rental, you have to make sure that you properly screen the individuals that you're putting into the house.
Properly. Say that again, Sam. Say that again.
Make sure you properly screen the tenants that you're putting in the house, because you can be getting your money on time, but this individual can still, tear that house up. So you're probably, still gonna have to dump a whole bunch of money into it, fixing it up once that tenant leaves. You want somebody that's gonna take care of the house like it's their own. Well, not like it's your own, but better than you will take care of the house.
Yeah, better than me. It's out there. You got it right now. Shit, Sam. So how about the people? We got 90 people on here now. What about the people that are scared, or they're like, "Oh, Chris, Sam, I don't want to go to do a home visit before the person moves in." Tell me about that.
I mean, for me, it was always a good experience. I didn't have any issues with it. You know, I got to see, you know, where this individual lived, the condition of their house, and if I didn't like how they were taking care of the house, you know, the decision was clear for me. You know, they can't move into my property.
Cut and dry.
They're gonna treat that property the same way. So I think it's a very good idea to see where that individual is living and how they're taking care of where they currently stand.
Sounds like it.
If they're a headache to the landlord that they're renting from, they're going to be a headache to you.
Sounds pretty cut and dry to me, Sam. I don't think well, for me, I know it's not a big deal for me too. I'm glad it wasn't for you. Did you have any reservations of doing a home visit, Sam? I don't know if we talked about it or you did it. I can't remember, but how did you feel about
I think that was my idea, Chris.
Okay,
I
yeah.
think that was my idea. I wanted to actually see where they were coming from and see how they were taking care of their property with everything that I've already, you know, gone through.
So I want to make sure we almost got 100 people now. Sam, going to do the home visit, it's pretty cut and dry what you see when you show up. Are you recommending people to do that?
It depends. It depends on you. It depends on the individual, how comfortable you are with people.
That's true.
Me, I have no problem, you know, introducing myself to new people. And I pretty much just told them I'm here to, you know, meet you, sit down and talk with you, get to know the person that could be potentially renting my house. I didn't tell them I was going there to inspect their house or to look at every room, because I didn't do that. I think that the tenant that's currently staying there right now, she offered to show me around her house and showed me how the current landlord that they had, you know, wasn't taking care of them.
Might not have been. Yeah. Might not. That is so cool. So, all right, Sam, we've been on here for 1 hour and 10 minutes. That's all I got for you, my friend.
Chris?
Round up. Few more days. Make sure you get signed up. There's a link in the video description below. You can join our email list to be notified when the Landlord's Guide to Section 8 housing will be here. Man, I'm itching to release this. I've been putting it together. Sam, you are part of it. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you.
I'm excited for you, Chris. Excited.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be talking to you soon. When are you getting out? Just so I can make sure I say a prayer for you, my brother. Do you have a date yet? Countdown.
I'm officially out in December 1st. I'm officially a free man.
Congratulations, Sam. You made it through the military. You made it through COVID. What's next for Sam Coker?
Yeah, next chapter, life. Living life.
I'm happy for you. I hope I can be a part of that.
Yeah, you will.
All right. Okay, round up. Listen, sign up below, and I will see you later this week. I've got another landlord coming on Thursday, Sam. He's got 70 Section 8 rentals. Cannot wait to share him with y'all. All right. Subscribe to the channel, like the content, share with anybody that is interested in getting their money on time every month, would you say?
Yep.
Okay. All right, round up. Peace.
All right, Chris.
All right.